Good morning, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. I'm trying something different. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to hear me when I have my headphones on. So I'm waiting for someone to put a one in the chat that will say, yes, I can hear you with your headphones on. I know that sounds strange. I, I think when I'm plugging in my headphones, I think it's killing the mic. No, it's not killing the mic. Look at you, AB. Thank you so much. How are you doing, Rochelle? Good to see you. Ceresia, crime in a bottle. Well, the whole world has gone completely bonkers except us in our quiet, cute, comfortable little haven. And I am clearly out of my nest. I'm in a new nest. And for a little while, I'm gonna have to get comfortable because I feel a little clumsy and not sure how it's working. So I kind of hate having these big old things on my ears. But maybe maybe today I'll go to the store and get me some little small earbuds so I don't have to look like one of the aliens coming out of the drones in New Jersey. Okay. Um, AB, I did leave like a little message under one of your community tabs. There's some people that in New Jersey they're like zooming in on these so-called drones. Got mascara on my hand. Uh, they sure look like your drones over the Great Lakes. So I thought that was super interesting because it shows that they've been around much longer than before everybody started looking to the skies, right? That I mean, I know they're saying like December 9th, I think. That was the first time I saw them. I dealt with them in 2013. I know what they are. Well, there's a lot of people coming out now with a little more realistic story. Not, oh, look, the aliens are invading or it's China. Now people are kind of say, like, one of the articles that I read, one of the articles that I read was that this corridor between New Jersey and down to like North Carolina, that it is a designated area by the military and the government for the military to like practice using all their new technology, including drone flight. So I thought that was an interesting and logical explanation. However, I myself have seen them over Galveston Bay, and there was a person who put up a video over Tomball, Texas, which is north of Houston. And Tomball, they had like 12 of these drones. So what I think, and I'm going to read your comments. What I think is they've been there, and like AB is telling you, he did like a whole series. If you guys missed this, you missed something really interesting. He did like a whole series of these peculiar lights that were over the Great Lakes. So I think they've always been there, and I think most people are not looking skyward. Most people are not looking to see what's going on in the night sky. And I think that this gets really deep, when the Biden administration, Kamala Harris, every time something would happen that they would become a focus of the news, Congress would do an inquiry about, oh, are aliens real? Or have they visited us? Are we in communication? And they would actually bring up like admirals and generals, people supposedly in the know, a CIA agent one time. People that are supposedly in the know would be put up on panel. Of course, you'd have the whole world with their cameras there. And it really got a lot of people talking. And this has been going on about 8 months, I guess. And it got a lot of people talking and a lot of people saying, oh, they're real. Look, aliens are real. It's not just Star Wars. And then everybody started looking up. And everybody started paying attention to the sky. And now that's why you got all these people going, oh, look, it's a drone invasion. No, I'm with AB. It's not a drone invasion. They've always been here. We have just not been looking. So AB says, I filmed them from 2013 to 2017 and still do to this day. They want to control your minds. Woo. Okay. So, AB, put those back up so everybody can go look at them. Because right now it's like the big thing in news, and your channel will blow up. Well, I mean, it's already a great channel, but it'll, explode. CIA mind control through the media, sure, 100%. Voltaire. If you can get people to believe in the absurd, you can get them to carry out atrocities. Milgram prison studies. Yeah, totally. And the first, um, I guess, acknowledged event where the United States government said, how can we use radio, these new technologies that are being developed to communicate with the masses? How can we use that to get the masses to do what we want them to do? And the first really widespread acknowledgement of that was the use of Donald Duck. And Donald Duck encouraged American citizens to buy war bonds. And the government was blown away at how much money they brought in. And from then on, you have been a lab rat. So be careful what you're listening to, because they know how to affect you. They know what they're doing. Okay, so AB says they want to control your mind. They are microwave weapons. AB, you are not helping the situation. I filmed it and they targeted me. So I remember one of your videos about that. And I think it is interesting that you bring that up today because, again, if you're looking at the drone invasion of New Jersey, but they're all over the place. They're in Alaska. They're everywhere. It's not just New Jersey. But if you look at that, there's people now that are posting video where the thing, the drone or whatever you want to call it, it focuses, you can see the light, you can see sort of the when it starts like ramping up and getting bright and then down, and then it drains their battery. Like their phone batteries just gone, their camera batteries gone. So it's kind of crazy, really. So if you're going to go out and try to record these things, take with you extra phones or extra batteries, put them in a Faraday bag, because clearly they've developed the ability to manage the electronics of that we're all holding in our hands. Yeah, so I could go into another topic, but I don't think I want to. But anyway, AB did a whole series. He put up these videos and described it. It's from years, like decades ago, or a decade ago, and it's exactly what AB filmed. Like when I saw the close-ups, I was like, oh my God, AB's already put this out. Like he's already been reporting this, and no one paid attention. So I would definitely put them back up, AB, and be sure to point out the dates, because that's a big game changer in terms of the calculus of what these things are. Jules, you are falling for the psyop by using legacy media lingo and reference. The devices you use every day, devices used to be classified as weapons prior to 2000. No, I get that, but also, medicine is the direct result of experimentation and warfare development, right? Those are the types of things that get the funding. And then when you happen upon some kind of discovery that can be beneficial for the greater good, then capitalists take that and turn it into something they can make money with. So a lot of the stuff that we have now is coming out of the military industrial complex for sure. And it's so weird that we fell into this conversation. Here's why. This morning, I myself am hoping, I've written a letter to Santa Claus. I'm hoping that Santa Claus will bring me either an Oculus 3 or maybe an Oculus Pro. I'm not sure if I really want the Pro, but definitely an Oculus 3 because it has this mixed reality feature that I just cannot wait to experience. So I'm hoping that I get one for Christmas. And I started looking at all of the like accoutrements, all the modifications and stuff. And they have this battery pack, right? And it's a battery pack that you wear. It's like on the back of the headset. The whole headset looks like some kind of mind control, some kind of mind control tool. I'm not kidding, AB. It's great. So it looks like a mind control helmet, which goes along with what AB is saying. Anyway, it's got a battery pack on the back. Of course, you've got, if you're not using a direct wire, then you got all this wireless signal going through your head, like direct, because this thing is right on your face, right? And so I got thinking about it and I thought, oh, I don't know how I feel about having a battery on the back of my head. So if you guys begin to notice dramatic personality changes in me, just do me a favor and let me know because something terrible might be happening. I may be turned into a robot. So, News Nation, a day or two ago, there is a video. It has Brian Eaton, Dr. Ramslin, a News Nation reporter, and Scott Reich from the behavior. No, not Scott Reich. Scott, I don't know. Scott, somebody from the behavior panel. Those three guests have reported seeing them. It is interesting. They're always out there. I've been sitting on my back balcony looking out across the ocean every night for years. They're out there. There's actually one in particular that comes through at about 4 or 5 a.m. I always think it's an airplane or it's a helicopter. Like in the beginning, I thought it's a helicopter or it's an airplane. And the reason is because it gets over to just a certain point, and suddenly the light goes woo, and gets really big, and then it goes back down small again. And so, but when you watch it, it's not moving trajectory where like, oh, now you're getting straight on light and then you're losing that straight light. No, it's keeping going straight, but then it just goes whoa, and then gets small again. So they're there. They've been there. I know I'm not like freaked out about them at all, but I definitely think they're probably U.S. military is kind of what I think. Jules, this drone is serious. Drone shit is serious because they are trying to lie to the public about it through the media. It's part of a larger, more sinister plan being carried out. Well, possibly. I'm a little weirded out. Let me say this. I'm a little bit weirded out about the fact that they seem to go underwater and then they come out of the water, right? But you can go today and go buy a drone that has the capability to go underwater and film, and it looks great. And then you can fly it up out of the water into the atmosphere. So the technology is there even for just small, private use. Now, these drones that the U.S. military has, and Canadian military and all others, these are like the sizes of like a Volkswagen bus, or maybe like the size of a small Jeep. I saw some at an expo where they're like the size of like a kid's, those little electric Jeeps that you can get for like a 3-5-year-old little kid, and they drive around in their little Bigfoot Jeep or whatever. Some of them are that size. So so that kind of weirds me out that you have some of these that are sides of a car and they're underwater. There's video of them. You can see the light going underwater, like following along beside a like a ferry, and then it comes up out of the water. So that kind of weirds me out. And here's the reason I say it weirds me out. Why are they letting us see it? If it's military and it's top secret, why are they now letting us see? So that's interesting. They call it a drone, but it's much more technologically advanced than your DJ-1. DJ-1s are good. Different propulsion. It's probably Boeing or Raytheon. Probably Raytheon, yeah. So it's interesting. And of course, Galveston Bay, we've got the Johnson Space Center there, so that would be also a good area for testing. I did see the actual documents that outline that corridor from New Jersey to North Carolina as a testing area. So I don't know. To get you believing something that isn't before they building 7 you. Let's hope we don't get building 7. That's not something I would look forward to. But can we be honest though? Go back to the Titanic. The Titanic was sunk for the almighty dollar. The Titanic was intentionally sunk because people made great investments, big odds on this unsinkable ship. I mean, if you go back to the advertising of the day, the big push was it can't sink, can't sink, can't sink, right? That's what everybody. And so there was lots of insurance. There was a lot of things that happened that were really curious and unusual. And so when the unsinkable sank on the first voyage, there were people that got dirty, filthy rich. It put insurance companies out of business. So one of the people that benefited the most, one of the people that made the most money was the damn people that owned the Titanic, that built it. They absolutely made out like bandits. So if you're, kind of a psychopath type of personality and you love money, you don't mind sacrificing a few people for a, pot of gold. And my understanding too is with the World Trade Center, there was a pot of gold in the footprint of the World Trade Center. That pot of gold has never been found, and it should have been found. It should have been there. It was protected by dirt and concrete. So where'd it go? Because all they found were empty chambers. So that is curious, right? Who benefited from those trillions of dollars in fine U.S. buttery gold? So yeah, no, I agree, AB. I think there's dirty people out there, and if you are a psychopath type person who is hell bent on wealth or power, where are you going to go? The U.S. government. Dick Cheney was a loser, nothing, nobody until he joined the United States government. Dick Rumsfeld identified him, said, there's a little psychopath we can use, and the rest is history. Halliburton, they were the primary drivers for the bombs that destroyed the Middle Eastern oil field, and guess who rebuilt the Middle Eastern oil fields? Halliburton. So the dirty people that need the cash, need the money, they can in fact find their way into these huge money-making ventures. But I do think there are many, 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 many people in the government and other places that are not psychopaths. They're not trying to hurt me and you. They're just there making a job. AB saying that, that the surveillance state is real. Here's my stand on that, AB. They don't need big fancy drones to surveil our homes. We're being surveilled 24/7. We have our laptop computers, our desktop computers, and we're not sitting at our computers. We're walking around with a computer in our hand. They know everything you're doing, everything. You think, oh, I'll go off grid and hide. They're watching while you're making all your plans to go off grid. What do you think the big buildings are that have no windows in them? They're data centers. They're housing more data than anyone could ever search through and look at ever in a lifetime. So those are assassination drones. You know what? I read a very interesting article last night. There is some reason to believe that they are like sniffer dogs, that they're looking for high levels of radiation. So that's curious. Jules, they are organizing a black swan event. Well, I hope not. You know what I mean? I hope not, but start paying attention. Start paying attention to your conversations that you're having. I don't mean online, just like in your living room with your family and friends. Start paying attention to the topics of conversations that are happening in your living room, the privacy of your home, and then begin to watch the ads that are coming up in your feed. Begin to pay attention to like the when you do a search, what are the top searches coming back? It's actually kind of scary, actually. I noticed it first last Christmas because I was talking about things that I wasn't interested in, like buying gifts for certain people. And so I was trying to learn about the type of gift it is. And then suddenly I'm talking about it in a living room, asking questions. And then suddenly I start noticing it on the little pop-up ads. And my personalization ads are turned off. Turn them off. Watch what happens. It's not going to change. You're still going to keep getting these offers, these directions related to what you're talking about. They're listening. There's no doubt. I don't mean people are sitting there with headphones listening. The computer, I think the computers have advanced to such a level. AD's right. We are kind of under surveillance, although I live a very boring life, so nobody's going to care what I'm talking about or doing. Jules, it's how best to control the financial markets. You're 100% right. Soros got rich by shorting the markets. 100%. It's easier to affect the markets negatively and bet on it, to get rich. It's a common tale. I told family years ago, do not get a smart TV, any Alexa type device, smart appliances, etc. Well, people have them now, Keep your phone in a different room when you don't want, yes. I can't say this enough. There is no doubt in my mind, because I experienced it, have a weird conversation with someone about, I don't know, something like roly-polies, bugs in your yard. Something that you would never, ever talk about, certainly would never search online or anything like that. Have a conversation and then sit back and watch what the ads are that roll up. It's really, really freaky. And if they can do that with ads, they can do it with any manner of other things, which leads me to this frustration that this Luigi fella, which I do not think Luigi Mangione is the guy in the video. I don't think he's the assassin. I really don't. However, you're going to tell me within 5 days, some rando McDonald's worker looks up and says, oh, that's our boy. That's the guy. The greatest manhunt that we can remember in modern history. And this guy is going to just saunter into a McDonald's and order some hash browns. In Pennsylvania, just sitting there a place that he's known for being. He's just gonna sit there and eat like anybody could come in and say, "Oh, Luigi." You, no, 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 it's not real. It, and yet the guy that managed to get up on a rooftop and shoot at President Trump, they don't know anything about him. Who is he? We don't. He didn't have a digital footprint. I have a digital footprint. You guys are listening to me talk about roly polies. So no, I don't have any trust at all that they're that we that we're anonymous or unknown, or I don't have that illusion at all. And I think that if one of these psychopaths decides that there's a way they can make money off of me, I think I'm going to get targeted. And that's the truth. Um, oh, I don't know what I did with it. I'll have to do another video and show you. So there's one video where they say that a bird ran into the like a jet engine, right? They say it's a bird. No, it's not, because somebody was like taking film outside of like they were sitting in the airplane, they were filming out the window, I guess at the clouds or something. But they're filming at exactly the time the so-called bird got sucked into the engine, right? Exactly the same time. So when you slow it down, slow, and you increase the size, it is so clear to see on the front of the bird is sensors. Like you can see the sensors, you can see the round dark panel, you can see the different little squares and little circles so clearly. And the bird is actually like an ivory or cream colored cylinder. No, it was like a guided missile, is what it looked like. So, but it's reported as a bird hit the airplane. The same folk that are behind the Trump assassination attempt are behind the technology of the drones. I wouldn't disagree. Breakaway civilization, I can speak. Breakaway civilization prior to World War II knew well, beware of the military industrial complex. They actually made it illegal to own gold. They encouraged everyone to turn their gold in, have it exchanged for paper, but fair paper. And then if you were caught with gold, then you go to jail, right? And so right now today, here's a if you want a fun little hobby, right now today, all over United States America, out in the woods, are buried buckets full of gold. True, absolutely true. So it's out there, people. But you buried your gold to hide it from paper, and then you died, and you were scared, so you didn't tell anybody where you buried it. My own mama, she had this in her backyard. She was a very poor woman. I think she went to school up to like the 7th or 8th grade, something like that. She had behind her house, she had a little shed, and she kept her pride and joy, which was her riding lawnmower. And so when she was dying, when she was in the hospital, she told my dad, she said, "Look in the shed." Right? And he's like, "What?" She said, "Look in the shed." And then she died, like not long after that. She quit communicating and she passed away. And so, my dad's sitting there and he's talking about how she was just out of her mind, telling him to go look in the shed. And I went, "Did you?" And he was like, "No, I didn't." I said, "Well, you should." so to make the long story short, he did in fact go out and look in the shed. She had hidden $20,000, and back then, 20,000 would have been like 100,000 today. But this woman who had such an inherent trauma from the government seizing gold and silver and things like that, she had zero trust in the bank. She had a bank account, she had a savings account, but that big bulk, She had more money in this ramshackle, falling down shed than she ever put in the bank. So there was a lot of these old timers. They were like, "You ain't getting my gold, buddy." And they went and they buried it, and then no one ever retrieved it. So it's out there. Same thing in Germany, Poland, Nazi invasion. People took their wealth, they sewed it into the linings of their coats to try to get it out of the country. Or when that quit working, they just started burying it. It's out in the woods. Not easily. Look for places that are very thickly wooded where you would think no one would ever go there, and then get your metal detector out because it's out there. They look to be destroying the financial system to chase us into a global currency, digital dollar. I'm already invested and waiting. I mean, that's the whole push with Bitcoin, the Doge, Trump saying that he's a digital currency guy. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. You are never going to replace gold. And those of us that are those people that have it, when there's no more to get out of the ground, it's going to be big. Yes, that would be my grandparents. There you go, Miss Kay. There you go. Bibi Netanyahu is from Poland. Gold is good. Gold is good. It is. All right, now then. Like I have some gold that I paid like $400 an ounce for. That's always kind of been my thing. When I get a little extra money, it goes to buy gold. Sometimes it's a gram, sometimes it's an ounce. Yeah. And then it's just stored in a safety deposit box. I don't ever touch it. It's just sitting there. Silver, not the type sprayed into our atmosphere. Some of those drones are spraying. Have you seen those videos? Yeah. Okay, so let me get to the point because then I got to go. All right. So I want to play a video. Hold on. This to me is very interesting. So we did all, let me put this back on my main timeline. Okay. So we did all, okay, you can see that. So we did all say that when Sheriff Stines shot Mullins, there was the rumor out there, right? There was the rumor that there was some bad stuff happening in the judges' chambers. Then we later found out that there were cameras involved. And then everybody's kind of lost the scent and said, okay, well, why would Stines shoot Mullins? I mean, is he just like this great principled good man that said, how dare you victimize all of those ladies that were needing bail and instead you had sex? There's been rumor that his daughter was caught up in this, that she had some legal charges and may have been filmed. Later that came out that was not right. And so everybody kind of lost interest because they said, well, maybe Stines, maybe he's just a good guy. Maybe he was just grossed out that Judge Mullins was doing this. But they were friends. They were spending time together. And, this kind of sheds a light on the whole story. So I've kind of started in the middle of this video. So hopefully I don't have a lot here. Let me make sure my sound is turned up. Because last time I tried to play video, nobody could hear it. Yeah. All right, so listen to this, what is being reported now about Stines' interest and why he may have pulled the trigger.
Of Judge Kevin Mullins.
Sheriff Sean Mickey Stines is accused of fatally shooting Mullins in his chambers following an argument. We've seen the video of this happening. Now we're learning about other alleged crimes that took place in those judicial chambers prior to the shooting.
Joining us now in studio with the very latest, Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas. Cody, boy, this case has gotten everyone's attention from the very beginning, and now it's getting even deeper. What can you tell us?
Well, good afternoon, Ted and Julia. We may now have more insight into what was truly going on behind those closed doors in the Letcher County Courthouse.
Because I kept thinking, okay, I can see someone being a good guy and not wanting this to go on. But give this some thought. You have a guy, the judge, the courthouse, the judge's chambers. You have bailiffs. You have people that are standing around watching trial proceedings. Like, how many times was somebody sentenced and then Judge Mullins would say, I need you to come to my chambers. If you were an ethical bailiff and you're watching this, after about 5-6 times, wouldn't you kind of go, why are they bringing all these women? Why don't they ever ask to see the men in chambers? So I thought there's got to be something else here. How do you hide that a deputy, a bailiff, the judge, that they're all having sex in the courthouse? There used to be a song, Texas has a whorehouse in it. It was, ooh, I like to do that little side step. And when I heard the story, I thought, gosh, this is getting so crazy. But how did they get away with it? How do you get away with having a sheriff's deputy know and be involved in what's going on? You have a bailiff that knows what's going on. The judge is actually it's not just the deputy and the bailiff that are having sex with these girls. The judge who is sentencing them is having sex with them. How do you get away with it for that long?
House. Newly obtained audio recordings from a police interrogation allege Judge Kevin Mullins engaged in sextortion acts inside the same chambers where he was killed. The recordings are from a 2022 criminal investigation into Letcher County Deputy Ben Fields, who was convicted and sent to prison earlier this year for the rape and sodomy of a female inmate. The woman heard on the recordings is victim
2022, and here we are nearly 2025. I mean, and remember when they had the preliminary on this guy, the hearing when he got arrested, the lead detective would not verify anything. He was, I don't know. Well, I don't think I looked at that yet. I'm not sure. I don't know. This is going to end up being disgusting before it's over with. Just listen. So this is a victim. This is a woman who was caught up in the courthouse brothel crime. Listen to what she says.
Sabrina Atkins, who has been publicly vocal about her claims against the convicted deputy
She's using her name. She is not lying. She wants the truth to come out. She's your real hero. She's your real hero.
His position of power to pressure her and other women to have sex in exchange for favorable treatment. But she says Judge Mullins was involved as well.
But he does have some videotapes of some stuff in the judge's chambers.
What kind of stuff?
Just with girls, sexual and stuff.
What describe? Have you seen the videos?
I've seen one partly, and just him having sex with girls for the bill to get out of jail.
Who was having sex?
Ben and just some higher ups up there.
Who?
Okay, Ben and some higher ups, plural. And this woman does not want to name them. This interview was done when Ben, the sheriff's deputy, was being investigated and is now convicted and in prison, right? But you can tell she does not she's scared of the higher ups, plural. So he says, well, who's the higher ups? Listen.
The judge and
Now, you saw the video.
yeah.
What did you see on the video? I mean,
I mean, I've seen Judge Mullins have sex with a girl.
who was the girl?
I don't know, because I don't know a lot of people from our
Where was it at?
in his office, in the judge's chambers.
Wow.
Is that the same place that you were meeting Ben? Is that how you know it was a judge in chambers? And this was Judge who?
Mullins.
Now, Adkins' attorney has gone on record saying, quote, "It's like they were running a brothel out of that courtroom." And Adkins, along with another woman, filed a civil rights lawsuit against the deputy. Sheriff Stines was also named in the lawsuit, and he was deposed in the ongoing suit days before shooting Mullins back in September. But further in those recordings, Adkins can be heard saying Sheriff Stines was involved in the sexual scandal as well.
Wow.
But you saw the video of the judge. Any other video that you actually saw?
No. They say that the sheriff Mickey Stines is involved. I don't know.
Who said that?
Chad, he said he had videos with Mickey. That Mickey used to do.
So that Stines killed Judge Mullins after Mullins did the deposition. I think Mullins named Stines. And this lady, Sabrina, is saying that there are video recordings of Mickey Stines doing this in the judge's chambers. And then she adds, and this is horrible, Mickey's doing the same thing when he was over house arrest. So you've got all these women that are on house arrest. He goes over to check on them, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Oh, yeah. And how about a quickie, baby? This is these sorts of things are not supposed to be happening in the year 2022 ever. It never should be happening, but we would hope that we had reached a level in our development that a civilization simply wouldn't let this happen. They wouldn't. And yet now we know, if this woman is to be believed, and a jury has already believed her because the sheriff's deputy is in prison. So she testified, they believed her, he gone, and now she's claiming not only that Judge Mullins and Mickey Stines were also doing this, that there were many sheriff's deputies that were doing this, there were many bailiffs that were doing this, that not only were they doing it, but the sheriff and the judge were doing that. So what did they have to be afraid of? What did they have to be afraid of? This goes along with that dirty South, the good old boy system we've talked about in the past. It's unforgivable. And I keep going back to Murdoch too, Alec Murdoch. Do we really believe that no one knew what Alec Murdoch was doing? They were all in on it. The guy at the bank was in on it. Everybody was in on it. That tells me other people are doing the same thing right now today. They end up with a client who may not be very sophisticated, that may be a little bit low in IQ. They get some kind of big win with an insurance company, but the lawyers keep the majority of the money, and the person that wins the settlement gets like $10,000, $15,000. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, all the sophisticated, corrupt psychopaths are pocketing millions. It's really something to think about. It's really something to think about. So I thought this was incredibly sad, terrible news, but I believe Sabrina, right? And that's what it's going to come down to, is who you're going to believe. The reason that I thought this was critical and important is because I do think women will lie. I know they will. Women will lie. They will make accusations of R and other things. I've seen some have willing affairs. They're in the affair. They're enjoying the affair. And then they get pregnant. And oopsie, husband has had a vasectomy. So how are you going to explain that? How are you going to explain that? Oh, I was hard. I was on a business trip and my coworker, we drank too much and he AR'd me while I was passed out. True story. It happens. So don't be so quick to follow blindly behind a sheriff who seems to be doing things that other sheriffs don't do, like having an investigation, 5 investigations into one kid, and then looking the other way when that kid goes missing. Not processing the last known location as a potential crime scene. That is not something that most sheriffs do. Most sheriffs would have processed the Proudfoot home as a potential crime scene. Think about it. They treated Seth's house like a potential crime scene. Why not the Proudfoot home? Mrs. Bauer Socks, you want to tell us about your political donations, ma'am? All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Please excuse my enormous ears today. I'm going to try to get better set up so my next video in this new nest won't be so cumbersome. All right. See you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful day and Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are enjoying the Christmas season. Talk to you later. Bye.